malice is thickest over there. Now, how do I get there?
It's honestly so refreshing for a game that is steeped in Japanese folklore to be emerging without also mentioning that it's a Soulslike or a roguelite of some kind. And of course, it's equally pleasing that Onimusha Way of the Sword is reviving this beloved PlayStation 2 franchise, which flared through the early 2000s before drifting into obscurity for more than 2 generations of consoles. As Edo-era Kyoto and its countless shrines and temples are corrupted by malice and the emerging Genma monstrosities, the only person that can stand in the way is the renowned historical swordsman Miyamoto Musashi, modelled here after actor Toshiro Mifune and voiced by Kenichiro Thompson. Musashi is a samurai who's found himself bonded to an Oni Gauntlet that gives him the chance to fight back against this supernatural danger. And this is a fresh take on the Onimusha series, meaning that you won't have to play the earlier games to really appreciate the story here. More than understandable given the almost 2 decades since the last new entry in the series, not counting the various remasters. And this absolutely plays into Musashi's character and the bond that he has with the spirit within his gauntlet, or more accurately, the complete lack of bond at the start of this game. But first, one of the most important things for Onimusha Way of the Sword is to let you feel like a badass samurai, souped up by some supernatural powers, but still heavily reliant on your sword abilities. At its heart, you're looking to both damage enemies and sap their resistance, their stamina, staggering them to let you deal a finishing blow if you haven't already offed them, of course. While you can absolutely take a front foot approach to many of the basic enemies, the Issen technique returns, allowing you to counter enemy attacks and dish out devastating killing blows in return, slicing them in half in the process even. This takes a moment to get used to, because in contrast to many contemporary control schemes, you hold to block and then tap another button to actually counterattack. This even works on ranged attacks, letting you ping arrows back at archers, staggering them and giving you the chance to get close for a finishing move. You can even string together a bunch of finishes on staggered enemies in an Issen chain. Much of your skill in combat could also be dependent on your ability to evade, not just counter, with another swift finishing move only available to you once you've filled up the meter by dodging. This requires you to time your button press once again to ghost out of the way of an incoming strike, leaving a fleeting spectral form of Musashi as he shifts barely half a step to dodge, keeping you right in the thick of the action when compared to a full-blown dodge roll that you might see elsewhere. Each dodge gradually builds up the meter until you can unleash this attack. Defeating enemies sees their souls then floating around nearby, waiting for you to manually absorb them in their 3 different colours and types. Blue charges up your energy attack, yellow your health, and red your experience. You'll need to be fast in certain situations though, because some kinds of floating Genma will actively try to suck up those souls and use them to attack you with elemental abilities. Obviously, it's probably best for you not to let them do that. There's also a new type of soul that you'll encounter, a black soul, which, when you absorb, furthers the story and reveals more of the plight that befell this region. Drawing upon a real myth surrounding the Kiyomizu-dera temple, this shadowy black flashback reveals that the local population made sacrifices to try and appease the demons, though they of course failed, as kids and others are sent plummeting down the sides of the mountains. It's a pretty grim scenario, and quite a disturbing myth to draw upon as well.
Please, help me. Right behind you, boy.
Put me down! I'm not dead!
There's some light environmental puzzles tied in with some of these moments, giving you Genma tendrils to follow and destroy, though we only really saw this in its most basic form in this demo. More fleshed out were some of the environmental interactions that fed into the combat. You can, for example, kick up a tatami mat and use it to block some attacks, or grab and push a cart through a bundle of enemies to gain an advantage. I really want to see someone managing to stagger a bunch of enemies, keep them locked in place, and then try to just go cart bowling and clatter through them all. Our hands-on time with the game concluded with a battle against another swordman who just so happens to have an Oni Gauntlet as well, the first time that there are 2 of these in action within this series. Sasaki Ganryu has what would no doubt be an utterly infuriating personality to encounter in real life. All of his movements look so thoroughly lazy, but they're backed by bags of self-confidence and awareness that, yeah, he really is all of that. He is in many ways the polar opposite to Musashi's steadfast tone. But he's a satisfying opponent to face, able to strike quickly, but, at this point in the game at least, still rather languid and lackadaisical, giving you plenty of opportunities to dodge and strike back. Once his stamina is depleted, it triggers a full-blown Issen break, giving you a choice of where to strike, head or armor, and perhaps this gives a more tactical approach to later combat. After 2 decades away, it is lovely to see Onimusha return and do so with such a striking panache, and this game is absolutely one to keep an eye on for 2026. But that is all that we've got for our hands-on preview at this time. Hopefully you've enjoyed what you've seen, and if you have, make sure to like, subscribe, click the bell icon, the usual YouTube things, and we'll see you again soon. Goodbye!
It's looking grim.
I'm just getting started, damn you.